Mr. James Stanley, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Thanks for taking the time to sit down and talk with me. You know what I mean? We got the seafood festival going on up there, and I appreciate you coming up here and talk to me right quick. How long you been living in Appalachia?
I've been here since 1988.
1988.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What's some of the things you've done here? What you know what I mean? As far as I know, you're a man of many hats. I know you're involved with the church, and
Yeah, and I'm involved in as far as in the sports. I'm a
umpire.
I'm a baseball umpire, softball umpire.
Right.
I refereed basketball games and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hey, they may have issues with some of the calls that you call, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. My call is my call.
Okay. What brought you here in the first place?
Well, when I got out of the Army in '76, I met my wife. At the time, her Angeline Stanley. She was living in North Carolina. She was a school teacher.
Right.
And we left there, and we went to Mississippi. And her grandmother had got sick, Miss Avery Wilson. So then we moved. She got a job. Mr. Speed got her a job at the school teaching. And so we moved down here. Us and me and we had a daughter and two sons at the time. And so when we moved here, and that was in 1988.
Okay.
And I've been here ever since. I like this place because it was small community, not a lot of crime going on and everything. It just seemed like a good place to bring children up here.
Okay. And you are originally from where?
I'm originally from North Carolina.
Okay.
That's where I met her at. I met her in North. She was teaching in North Carolina when I met her. We moved from there. We went to Mississippi. She taught in Mississippi for 12 years. She taught in North Carolina for 4. And then we came down here, and she retired from here.
Oh, okay. Growing up in North Carolina, who was some of your favorite entertainers and athletes when you were coming up?
Well, when I was coming up, I liked the baseball. My favorite team was the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was 2 players that I really liked. That was Roberto Clemente and Dave Parker.
Right. So you wasn't here when oh man, I can't think of the school that was out there. My daddy graduated from. Man, what was the name of that school?
You talking about Quinn?
Quinn.
No, yeah. I wasn't here then. No, that was before my time.
Okay. So by the time you got here, it was all integrated.
Yeah, when I first came here, it was Apalachicola High at that time.
Right. Oh yeah, that's my high school.
Yeah.
What's some of the changes that you've seen since you've been here? You know what I mean, as far as the community.
Really, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen a whole lot. Well, it's been some changes since I've been here. We had a black principal. We had Miss Rose McCoy was principal.
Oh yeah. And, that was my principal in elementary.
Yeah, she was the principal, and then I forget the man's name from Port. He lived in St. Joe now. He was the principal before she got to be a principal. It was a black man.
Right.
Then later on we was able to have a mayor when Van Johnson came along, and now it's Brenda Ash now. So we advanced in some areas, but not that much.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the areas that you think that we can improve in, as far as the community goes? What's some of the improvements you'd like to see around here?
They're not any good paying jobs here.
Right. Oh man, that's been a big. That's why I had it.
Yeah. And then so it's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to do. It's a small town, and then you have guys and girls trying to make it, and then they end up selling drugs, which that's not the answer either. But sometimes people got to make a living some kind of way,
right.
So they do what they have to do.
Right. Yeah, that's on. Yeah, drugs is taking out.
And not just that. they don't. It's not enough affordable housing.
Right.
For people to live. You know, rent is sky high. You know, I just happen to be fortunate enough to own my home. You know, and so I paid it off, so it's mine now. So I don't I don't have that problem. But you know, it's to me it's no industry here. It's nothing. It's nothing for young people to do that. So they have to leave and go away.
Right.
You know.
Now, when you mention housing, you know, I can't tell because all of the new houses just done sprung up in the community.
Well, a lot of that's been because there were our people, some of our people that our forefathers and all, they had houses and everything, and then when they died, the children that had it, they sold everything off.
Right.
So I mean, so now, and then a lot of the houses, they just dilapidated, and so then you have certain people come in and they fix them up, and then they rent them out, or they live in them. So 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 it's just sad. It's a sad state.
Yeah, I mean the type of houses that they building around here. I mean I don't see anybody being able to afford them.
Exactly. And they call it affordable housing, but it's not really affordable housing, you know. Where you and first of all, you got to have a good job to afford to pay the rent.
Right.
So we gained in some areas and we lost in other areas.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so now you speak and gain. What areas did we gain in?
Well, some of our kids, you know, they can get scholarships to go to college, whereas when I come up, it was hard. I come up in the 50s,
right?
Which we had to deal with racism, we had to deal with segregation and stuff like that. But now the opportunities are more for these kids, but they gotta want to do.
Right,
you know?
Right. And you said you came up doing segregation. That's a question I wanted to ask. Not only in this community, but your community, did integration help or hurt?
It helped in some way, but it hurt in a lot of ways because when the schools were separate, the teachers they made sure that we learned what we had to learn, like if it was a math or arithmetic or whatever you want to call it. Those teachers cared about us, and they made sure that they didn't pass us on to the next grade until we had it.
Right.
We had it down. That we had it down pat. They wouldn't. But then when they got in as far as once they integrated the schools, those teachers they didn't live in the community with us.
Right.
So when the school was out, they went on home to their home where they in the suburbs or wherever they stay.
Right.
And it seemed like, which to me, I would say that the children, some of the kids that really needed help, they fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's the bad. What about the good when it came to integration?
The good part about it was that once we come together and we look at each other as a person and not judging by the color of your skin. See, a lot of that.
Okay.
See, it was a lot of that. I could never understand why somebody would hate somebody just cause they got their skin color is different.
Right.
But back in the 60s, that's the way it was.
Right.
If we rode public transportation, we had to sit in the back of the bus.
Right.
And when I was coming up as a teenager, when you went to the courthouse, you had the bathroom white only, and then you had the bathroom for us. It didn't say black; it was color only. And we drunk out of separate water fountains. When we went in somewhere to eat, we could sit at the counter, but we couldn't sit out there with the general public. So a lot of that's changed. Now we can go in, we can go anywhere in the world and sit down and eat a meal without having to worry about that.
And that was during your time.
That was on my time. Back then, you got spit on, you got called all kind of racial slurs, and it was rough. You know, they stayed on their side of the town, and we stayed on our side of the town. If you got caught by yourself on their side of the town, you got your butt whipped, and vice versa. If they came on, so if we went on the other side of town, we went as a group. Don't get caught by yourself,
right?
Because you're gonna get beat down, and that's just the way it was. That was life in that time, in the 50s and the 60s, and then it progressively got better in the 70s and as it went on. But 50s and the 60s, there were some trying times.
Let's fast forward a little bit. What do you think about this new generation? I mean, what are some of the challenges, some of the things that you see that's going on with this new generation? How do you feel about it?
With the new generation, I feel like it's a lot of peer pressure. You know, wanting to fit in, and you know, you don't want to, your buddy's doing something, and you don't want to be called a sissy or something like that. And even in sports and stuff like that, I feel like, you know, like the guys, they come out when we play sports, we love the game. They like it. So it's a difference in love and like. If you love something, then you're gonna put everything into it. And it just that, not all of them, but this generation now, this now generation, they don't seem to care about some things, you know. And it's not everybody, but then again, they're not. When we came up, we was taught yes sir and no sir. When the street light come on, we couldn't get caught walking the street. If my daddy says be home by time, but before the street lights get on. So when those transformers go to humming, we trying to get to the house, because we know, now if you was on the porch when it came on, you late. So and the discipline not there is now, it seems like, instead of the parents running the house, some of them, the children are running it. See, we couldn't talk back to grown people. You know, if you was a grown person and I was a child, and you said I done something and I said you didn't, basically I'm saying you didn't call a grown person alive. A grown person said you did it, you did it. So that's the difference right there. Discipline.
Yeah, that's back when the village was intact. Now,
the village, you know, if somebody seen me do something wrong, they had my daddy and mama and daddy position, and taking prayer out of school, I think that was a big mistake. I really do. I really do.
Right.
You know.
I'm gonna hit you with a curveball. Last question I got for you. Is money power? Is money power?
Yes, I think it is.
Money is power?
I think it is.
How much money?
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say on that one.
Okay, wait a minute. I want to ask you one more question, because reparations is a big hot topic right now. Do you feel that Black Americans are deserving of reparations?
What is reparations?
Reparations, where they pay us for the work that we did as slaves. See, because the reason why, one of the reasons why we so far behind economically and financially, is because we didn't get paid for our labor building this country. Right. So now there's a huge push and a loud voice about paying us reparations.
I believe that when you work, you deserve to get paid a decent wage. I believe that.
And see, our ancestors didn't get paid anything, which left us so far behind in the economic race. And even to this day, it's hard for us to get loans for certain things, for certain businesses. So, So that answers the question. You do feel that we deserve.
Yeah,
we deserve
yes, I
reparations.
do, I really do. Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, that we deserve it. And then another thing, a lot of times when black people reach a certain level, not all, and like I said, not all of them, but a small percentage of them, they don't try to do anything for their people. They don't speak up. They don't speak up,
right?
Because they're afraid to speak up. Because then they don't want to rock the boat,
right?
Because they don't want to lose that little cushy $100,000 job they got. they don't want to lose that, so they're not gonna speak up.
Well, that goes back to the questions I asked before. Is money power?
Well, yeah, it's power. If you rich, it's power, because with your sometime with that money, you can kind of manipulate things kind of like you want it, because you got money.
Let me ask you this: is it power or is it a powerful tool? And I'm talking about money.
Well, now that you put it that way, it's a powerful tool.
Right.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool.
Right.
Because a lot of time, in order to get certain things done, you gotta have money.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta have money. If you ain't got money, then you're not. Certain things that you want to do, you're not gonna be able to do it because you don't have the money.
Right. Well, Mr. James, I really appreciate you sitting down and talking with me. You know what I mean? And I want to thank you for being who you are. To the people of this community, to the the value that you've added to this community. You know what I'm saying? Even myself, you know what I'm saying? I've talked to you a number of times growing up. You given me words of wisdom. Now, it's one thing we talk about who I should have, tied the knot with.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, you was wrong on that prediction.
Yeah, I
you know
know
what
it.
I mean?
Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, okay.
But it's all good.
Yeah,
though,
it's
man.
all good. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you
All
sitting
right.
down and taking the time to talk with me.
Of course.
All right, appreciate it. Y'all live right, play fair. Holla at it.